Welcome to the video recording series. This is for question number price with many independent variable, including household characteristic and the location of the house price, location of the house. Respond to the points and questions below. First, you are going to estimate the model. Before going to estimate the model, you need to filter the data and clean the data. And you will also need to create a dummy variable for the suburb. Then you are going to interpret the meaning of the coefficient and its significance. And then you are going to explain the suburb coefficient, why it is different than the question number 3. So for that variable as well as the suburb, this is the price variable and this is the house column, the characteristic, and this is the suburb variable. So now I'm going to run the regression. Dependent variable as a price, and these are all the independent variables. For the regression, first I go to the data analysis and then regression. I select the dependent variable as a price and then independent variables from bedrooms to the suburb, all the household characteristic as well as all the suburb characteristic I included. And then I take these labels because I included the column heading and also I included the output range at this so then if I click OK, then this is the output for the ask us to estimate, interpret the coefficient. But you know how to interpret the R squared. This is the how much variation Y explained by the regressor. So there's a 83% variation Y explained by all these variables. And the significance of the F test is giving the overall model significance. This is significant. So the model is good fit. If you look at the independent variable one by one, so we need to see whether the variables are significant or not. How can we see that one? By looking at the p-value. Decision rule is if the p-value is less than the level of significance, then those variables are significant, which means which affect the house price. So in our case, these three variables are significant, and then this one is significant, and this one, all the suburbs variables are significant. So how are we going to interpret the coefficient? Say for example, bedroom. So the interpretation of the coefficient is if the bedroom size increased by 1 unit, the house price would be increased by this amount, $61,017, right? Say for example, garage, if the garage size increased by 1 unit, then the house price would be increased by this amount. Since it is a continuous variable, we can say if 1 unit increase in X, how much the changes in Y is the interpretation for the coefficient. As usual for the dummy variable, as I explained in question number 3, these three, the suburbs were coded as a dummy variable or dichotomous variable. So here the interpretation means how much the price is different from the other suburb. For example, the Alexander, if the house located in Alexander High, the house price would be lower than the other suburb. So the amount, how much is lower, is explained by this coefficient. So this is the interpretation for the coefficient. So why are the suburb coefficient different now than the question number 3? So if you look at the output, the coefficient, the Alexander Heights, Alfred Cove, all the coefficient, this is the coefficient with the other household characteristic. In question number 3, We have the coefficient. The coefficient is question number 3. If you look at the coefficient is different from the question number 3. The reason here we are considering the household characteristic, so how it's influence on the Y, and also we are considering the location specific characteristic. So that has the effect on the house price. So here the changes is because of the household characteristic along with the location characteristic. So that is the reason why we are getting different coefficient than the question number 3. So that's all about the question number 4. Thank you.